Today is July the 14th, 2016, and it is 7 p.m. This is the City of Floresville Council meeting. Please stand for the invocation. Join me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, forever. Amen. We'd like to establish a quorum at this time. We have Councilman Tejada, Councilman Ortiz, Councilman Nieto, and Councilwoman Contu. We have a quorum. Now to recite the U.S. Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
under the
Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Please be seated. And now we'll start out with citizen comments. Do we have any comments? This is your time to speak for no more than 5 minutes. Anyone? No citizens' comments at this time. We'll go on to old business. We have 3 minutes, 3 different minutes to approve. The first one is CNA to approve meeting minutes for the regular meeting on March 10, 2016. May I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a second.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes for March the 10th, 2016. Madam Secretary, did you get the vote? All those in favor, right? There's only 3, right? Okay. To approve those minutes. And all opposed?
301.
Right, thank you. Okay, the next item B, CNA to approve meeting minutes for the regular meeting on March the 24th, 2016. May I have a motion?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second?
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes for March the 24th. All those in favor, say aye. Raise your right hand, please. All those opposed? Madam Secretary, did you get the vote?
301, ma'am.
Thank you. Motion passes. CNA to approve minutes for the regular meeting on April the 28th, 2016. May I have a motion?
I don't have one more.
We don't have item C?
Yes.
I think we do. It's under,
1C?
And that was held at the event center?
Yes.
yes, It's under tab C.
I don't have it either.
There's one. You didn't have either?
Okay, I'll give you a couple of minutes to look at it before entertaining a motion.
I have one. That's what game. Oh, there's a short one. I got it.
Leave that to events.
is there, city?
I beg your pardon?
What happened? Well, they're not complete.
How many pages are there?
It should be on the,
Actually, it's, 2, 3 pages.
but you know what? This is the one that the ones that stayed in your binder, look, that's what's wrong. It's the wrong one. So you can take it.
Okay, and I have a motion to table, please.
Because it's not complete, they're not the right ones.
So move.
And may I have a second to table?
Second.
All right, I have a motion to table.
I didn't see.
And a second?
Tahada? Councilman?
Yes, yes, and the second was Councilman Ortiz.
Okay.
All those in favor of table, raise your right hand. All those opposed?
301?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Then we're going to go to presentations and discussion. The first item on here is procedures for clearing weedy lots. Who's got that one? City Attorney. That's a great topic. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Council. This was brought forth, Councilwoman Cantu had some questions, and it is a problem that's going on in the city of Floresville. That we have some lots where the owners are either not taking care of it, and they can't be located or otherwise found to be issued a citation to clear their lots. So the question comes up of what can we do to prevent, these eyesores and also a breeding ground for pests and potential dumping and things of that nature. And so researching, we do have an ordinance in the books, but it does require some steps to take to be able to be enforced. And that's what I wanted to present today because it will involve the budgeting process that we're in right now. So what we need to do is the ordinance requires two things. That we have a contractor selected by a request for proposals that is on standby to be able to go out and clear these lots. And then second, that we have funds set aside to pay said contractor because we can put a lien on the property for the amount of the cleaning and that nature, but we won't be able to collect on that until the person either sells the property and has to satisfy the lien or until we foreclose on the lien. So that means we have to have a budget item where the city can fund that until we can recoup, and usually with those processes, it's at least a couple of years until the city gets its funds back on there. So this is just a presentation item, so it's something that we need to keep in mind as we go through the budget process, and potentially once we have a budget item approved, issue a request for proposals to contractors in the community that can clean these lots.
Along with the lien, is there a fine associated with that?
Yes, sir. But the problem is these are people that can't be located, so we can issue a fine, but there's nobody to pay it. We can send it to the address and it'll get returned or it'll sit there. These aren't for lots where Officer Mitchell can go out and issue a citation and collect payment or bring them to municipal court. And that's about it that I have on here. Are there any other questions or?
Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
I don't know which one it is.
One of the things I know, Mayor, you try to introduce this as well, is that we can definitely say,
Can we clear the noise first?
This one's turned off. I don't know which one's causing the crackling.
so now it's that,
This one's off.
okay. Then it's
Uh,
important.
I remember you had some questions about that lots and empty lots as well, but this would only pertain to lots within the city, not necessarily county lots or anything in reference to that. We'd have to be careful, and Chris, can you speak to that, even though it's within the city, if it's reverted back to the county, as they have on structure, but how would we handle that if it reverts back to the city, to the county?
Yes, because there have been several complaints before. I recall one lot that was located by the Lodi basketball court. You remember that one?
Yes, ma'am, and they reverted back to the owner, so technically the owner of that property is county now because they're taking it back in taxes, and so that's why I wanted you to see how we can address the fund. It's in the city limits, but the owner of record at this point is actually Wilson County.
Correct, and that's something where the county would then take on the responsibility of clearing the lot, and if they don't, then just like everybody else, we need to say, we have these ordinances. And I included a copy of chapter 92 of our code of ordinances that has all that. And they're subject to the same things since they own the property inside the city limits. So
But
this
does-
would apply.
Okay, but does the county have an ordinance? Do they have
I'm not sure if the county has their own weedy lot ordinance for things that aren't within the city's jurisdiction. That I can check into with Dana, the county attorney, and get that. But for anything, even if the county owns it, as long as it's inside the city limits, it's subject to our weedy lot ordinance.
Okay. Council, any questions on this presentation? Yes.
So how long is this process gonna take? Do we have to put it in the budget first?
Yes, Councilwoman, it has to go in the budget so we know that there's funds to pay. And then once that's established as a line item, we can go out for proposals.
Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you. The next item for presentation and discussion is city credit cards. And we're all gonna get one, right?
You so choose,
Just
man.
kidding.
Connie's going to be joining you, but I just needed you to look at the memo. I know that Connie provided a memo for you before. And then attached to that memo, behind that memo, is actually all of our credit card statements. And what I had promised was that during Connie's presentation monthly, when we bring our budgeting, I'm sorry, when she does her reports, her financial reports, is this what you're looking for to be part of that report? There it's all of the accounts. Walmart Business, we have 2 of them, Sam's, the Tractor Supply, Wells Fargo, they're all here. And so I say, is this what you were looking for, so I can make sure I can give clear direction to staff? If that's what you were looking for a report to be added to the financials.
Do they actually have to be in the form of a statement? I mean, can they not be listed?
We can do a summary statement. You can have, Connie can do a summary statement of what the monthly activities were, and that's why we're asking, because I didn't know, I mean, from our last meeting, when we were discussing it, you said that a copy of the statements, and so it is pretty thick, and so we just want to know, is this what you wanted, or you just want a summary statement? She can prepare that in an Excel spreadsheet if you like, per credit card. I just needed to understand.
Council, do y'all have a preference?
I think for the Walmart and the Sam's and the Tractor Supply, I think the statement would be, or the balance or whatever might be sufficient. But I would be more concerned about the Wells Fargo MasterCard and Wells Fargo Business MasterCard.
To actually see the statements for those.
See the statements.
Okay, and we can get something electronically, they have a statement, so I understand that.
And
Along-
this is not a new practice, this is something we were doing years ago. And I don't know why we got away from it, but if we can go back to that practice.
Yes, sir. Now, along that same line, Mayor, if I may, we have the employee of the credit card, so you can see, if you look at the Sam's credit card, actually, Margaret Tejada's name is on that credit card. We need to change that to Monica Cordova. I believe Margaret was on that card when she was city secretary, and so we need to actually change it to Monica Cordova, so we needed you all to look at that. And then on the Wells Fargo, as you know, Fonda Kellner is still with us as a city employee, but she's in the police department. And the person who's actually doing those duties now is Monica Belize. And so we would like to change that name to do that. So we can prepare that paperwork. We need to have my signature as well as the mayor or the mayor pro tem signature to allow to do that. So we
Why does
just
the police department have a credit card?
The police department does not.
But why does someone from the police department, if you sign in a credit card, you see it?
Monica Belize now is actually here at City Hall working in our finance department. We switched the 2 employees. So Fonda Kellner was,
Do we need to have that many people using their credit cards?
it would only be the 2, myself and one other.
Okay, because the name of the employee is on the credit card, that doesn't mean that the employee actually carries the credit card with them. Those credit cards are in a locked drawer on a file cabinet in my office, and they're just released for travel. For example, when we do the registration for TML, we have to do it with a credit card. They will not take checks or anything else. And, you know, that is surprising because TML is works with government, but they don't accept checks. You have to do credit cards. So we have 2 credit cards. One is under the name of the city manager, which I still have. And the other one was under the finance director, which was Fonda Kilner. When she was moved to the police department and Monica Beliz was brought to finance, now we need to do that change because I feel that it's not gonna be fair for Fonda to have a credit card under her name when she's not doing those duties anymore. But the credit card doesn't go to the employee. Wells Fargo and Sam's are the only 2 entities that will not allow us to have City of Floresville on the name of the credit card only. There has to be to a person. That's the reason why we have to change every time we have a person.
Who's in charge of actually handing out the credit card? So shouldn't your name be on there if you're handing them out?
Well, there's a checks and balances, and typically the comptroller should not be on a credit card. For checks and balances,
Internal control.
internal control, they recommend that someone other than the person who controls the purse string should actually be on
So
the
like
credit
the
card.
person's name is just, they're on there, like, is their social on there or anything?
No.
Part of the card is just strictly their name?
Yes,
And they have no access to the card?
No.
not unless there's the finance department, they go get them from there.
So should it be someone from the same department as Monica reports to you, or should it be
Well, we're
someone
just
else?
keeping the past practice. It could be someone else, it could be David Vasquez, it could be someone else. We're just trying to have a check and balances because you literally have to sign. And so we need a second signature in case I'm not here, it would fall, and we think it's unfair to sign Fonda's name when she's not physically here to sign for herself because she's located now in the police department.
No, I understand taking Fonda's name off, because she's not, but I'm asking
We can have an elected official if you want to have the mayor, the
Yeah.
mayor pro tem.
from the same department. I mean, because Monica Beliz
Well, we
reports to
can
you.
have one of you sign.
We can have a credit card.
From under your name. Instead of changing it to Monica Beliz, we can change it to the mayor.
Or the mayor pro tem.
Oh,
But
no,
the credit card will stay here.
No, I don't think so. I mean, not as far as I'm concerned. I'm talking about another employee.
Yeah, well, there's responsibilities that come even though we don't provide social security numbers or addresses, or they don't carry the credit card. Still, there's some employees that are skeptical to have their name on a credit card. So, because Monica Beliz has agreed.
And not so much as by mentioning people's names, but just someone who's in a managerial position to have their name associated with the card,
Okay,
as opposed to like an hourly employee or,
so we can
it's
have.
just a suggestion, I know everybody else does it, but.
On this statement, I see Sadana Faust is the,
That was original, she was
What do you think?
on the card some time ago, Sedona.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we can take her off, or?
Oh, we are gonna, we had already.
She
taken her.
started the card for Fonda, that's why her name is there. She was like first place, and so Fonda was in second. But it takes a signature of myself and either the mayor or you who on the account to change the name. So we can prepare the paperwork, but we just didn't have to. So we can prepare to make that change for Sam's, it's pretty easy. Wells Fargo needs somebody who's on the account, a signature on the account to be able to do that. So think about it, if you're not, and we were just keeping with past practice, but if we want to think of someone else or make a recommendation, I look forward to that.
And to address your concerns, Mayor, the key for that file cabinet I have. So it's not like, even though the credit card is under the employees on the same department's name, chief doesn't really have access to it unless I authorize it. When I'm not here, most of the time, it will be Henrietta's credit card that will be released.
Now, I was just thinking of the practice itself. I mean, I'm not concerned about it. I'm just saying, what is the procedure? What do other companies do regarding having two people within the same department?
Well, I'm technically, I'm not in the finance department. It would just be, Monica Beliz would be in the finance department.
Right.
I'm more administrative, that's why we don't have two in the same. That's why I stayed away from David Vasquez, because he's typically in administration. But we need to have at least two people on the credit cards for that.
Council, any other comments or questions for this presentation? Do we No Visa,
No.
right? Okay.
And this is issued by the bank that we do business with.
And these are all of the cards that we,
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
very good. Any
Thank
other questions?
I do need a directive on the people's name that I'm gonna change. Do you agree with Monica Cordova taking one of the Sam's business cards? And then also, if you agree for Monica Belize, or give me a name, so that way we can transact these, because it's been already 5 months since Fund.
This isn't a CNA item, so they can't give you a
No.
directive.
We'll
It can be
unfortunately.
submitted later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. Having done both of the presentations, we'll go on to new business. And I'm going to move up item 4, the executive session, so that we can proceed with that. And I'm going to skip H, it's a CNA to discuss status of Miller versus City of Floresville, and go on to the executive session, if that's okay with council. Any objections to that? All right, may I have a motion on item A, executive session, item A, pursuant to section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney to discuss status of Miller versus City of Floresville, et al., 1512-0712 CDW. May I have a motion?
I so move.
May I have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second to go into executive session, and it is, all those in favor? Any opposition? No? Okay. Madam Secretary, did you get the?
4-0, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and it is 7:25.